Yeah, we have also seen validation rules. Now the next topic is like a data security and the lightning apps. Okay, lightning apps, whatever we want to build, we want to develop, and where we can develop, how we can develop. So that we need to see. Before that, we also complete the user management, user access control. So we have to do those all things with respect to the access of user or Salesforce platform, application, objects, fields, whatever. So to achieve that, first we need to understand the architecture of the Salesforce. First, we need to understand the architecture of Salesforce. Today is all about the understanding of the architecture. If you see the Salesforce, it lies in three layers. Now we have the additional layer, that is AI layer. But for now, let us understand the three basic layers or the three fundamental layers of the Salesforce. Okay, three fundamental Salesforce. So at the core, okay, at the core, we will be having Salesforce data. What is like we have seen like objects, fields, right? That is stored as a tables at the bottom, and at the base layer. I mean the low level, this layer. I mean this layer, we have the authentication and the access control mechanism. So these all we have inside this. Inside this, the base layer, the first layer. Okay. Now above that, we have something called as platform, where we will be having the AI, the data services, the third party APIs, and everything we have in the second layer. And the top layer is something which you are seeing now. Third layer is something which you are seeing now. So when you log into the Salesforce, we have the sales, services, or we can develop our own application. If I'm running an institute, I can develop my own Lightning applications. Or if I'm running any customer service thing, so I can use the existing Service Cloud application in the top layer. Or I can also I can also develop my own application. Okay, I can also develop my own application. Now to understand these three layers, let us take the example. Okay, let us take the example. Okay, Ah, let us think that we are having a chatbot. Okay, okay, we are having a chatbot. That chatbot, okay, the chatbot will have access to the Salesforce data, like objects. Okay, so that objects where they will be lying, where they will be lying, they will be lying in the base layer, the CRM data layer. Okay, and whatever the authentication is there, right? Authentication in the sense, who is going to sign in and use our chatbot. Okay, that also we can control. Okay, that also we can control in the Salesforce layer, the trusted or like what we say is multi-tenant cloud architecture. There we control this data. Now this chatbot is there, right? That chatbot will have some logics, right? The brain, the thinking mechanism, okay, the answering mechanism. So where that brain comes from the platform. Okay, from the platform. The platform has that capabilities, okay, to deal with this artificial intelligence or chatbot mechanism. It's like a brain. Okay, it's like a brain. This, if you think as a like a body, then this is as a brain. And this, the final layer, is something where you can use the chatbot, whether it's in the sales application, service application, or any other places. So like this, we have a single chatbot. If you take single chatbot, where you will use, that is the application layer, where it gets the data from, where it gets the access, who can access, that is covered in the, that is controlled in the Salesforce trusted multi-tenant cloud layer. Then the brain, the logic, and the settings, everything is in the platform layer. Okay. Not only this, anything you take, the data, okay, the access is in one layer, the platform, the logic, the brain, the settings in the other layer, the application, the UI. the front face of the Salesforce is in the another layer. These are the three core layers of the Salesforce. Okay, in the Salesforce architecture, these are the three layers. Okay, now now okay, let us understand why these three layers are important and what is the role played by these three layers and like uh, what are the fundamental things that needs to be remembered while dealing with this three layer architecture. The first thing comes is a trust. Okay, so one second. Trust, if you are talking about trust, let me tell you the first example why the trust matters for us. Let us understand. Okay, see, you say this has a cloud. Okay, you say this has a cloud. Cloud means what? You are sitting, just take me the yeah, you are sitting here with your laptop and your data, your access, your organization. If you're running a company, the complete data is in the servers, right? The complete data is in the servers. Okay, now this data is also accessed by other person in your company. Okay, from sales representative to the CEO, everyone can access this data. If something malfluctuation happen, okay, malfunctioning happen in the servers, then your data will be exposed throughout the users of your complete organization. One project will be exposed to other project. So when you're dealing with the cloud, okay, when you're dealing with the cloud, security and trust is the first thing we need to consider. Not only Salesforce, any cloud applications. Now when we are talking about this Salesforce now, this Salesforce, okay, when it is saving the data in the servers in the cloud, there is a chance that this data is accessed by other organization also. If something is misconfigured, this server's data can also be accessed by other organization, not only your organization people. Okay, the other organization people can also access the data of your company. So first thing, okay, first thing we need to consider while dealing with the cloud applications is trust. So why we trust the Salesforce here is not only what we say sensitive data. Okay, functionality in the sense, let's say you are writing a flow or Apex code is also a sensitive data only in it. Not only the customer data, the code is also the sensitive data only. So not only the original data of the customer, your functionalities, your controls, your logics, your settings, all should be protected. All should be protected. All should be protected in this Salesforce. Okay, all should be protected in this Salesforce servers. So how do they do that? It's not our not our consideration. But what is our consideration? So what is our consideration here is how we can trust them. How we can trust them. So I'll show you one architecture diagram, then we'll understand this one. Just a minute. Just a minute. Salesforce will have Salesforce will have multi-tenant architecture. I'll tell you what is multi-tenant architecture. Okay, I'll tell you what is multi-tenant architecture. Just a minute. Then you will understand why we can trust the Salesforce. Now let's say Soumya is having one company, a startup, and there is a TCS, a big one. Okay. Then we have, let's say other companies, Deloitte, and we have also like let's say other like my company and Heady Code. So Code Excellence. They are like every company will have some space in the entire cloud. Let's say this is a complete Salesforce cloud space, and okay, and we have we have for each and every company we have certain space. Now, what this what, I mean what this says to us, a one complete space. This is a complete space. In this complete space, every company, okay, every company is having its own, okay, every company is having its own memory, its own space. In this complete big space, we are having small spaces, small chambers kind of. Now, this is called encapsulation. Okay, encapsulation in the sense whatever the data that belongs to TCS, the TCS can only access. It can't access Soumya's company's data. Okay, it can't access Soumya's company's data. Similarly, if I'm a small, I will have my own memory, own storage, own logic control, own settings, everything. I can't see the TCS data. So this resembles, if you are in an apartment, just a minute, I'll show you one more diagram. If you are in an apartment, okay, how this apartment will be there? So this apartment will have, okay, let's say 6 flats. Now, okay, this apartment will have 6 flats now. Now, every flat, okay, every flat will have their own space, right? You may be living in one building, but you are not sharing any like space right here, like space in the sense there is no connection between you and the other apartment people, right? So every apartment has their own rooms, okay, own rooms, own space, and whether it's a 2 bhk or 3 bhk, depending upon that, you have the space, like it's a 200 sft or 900 sft. That means this complete building, let's assume as a Salesforce complete server. Now in this, every apartment, every flat is like a single organization, single company. One is TCS, one is Deloitte, like that. Now everyone will have their own space, okay, their own space, their own settings, their own data, okay. Whatever the people belongs to this flat, they can access only this flat. So like that, okay, like that, okay, like that. Every flat, every flat will have the its own memory now. Similarly here, every company in the Salesforce will have its own storage, okay, own lock mechanism, locking. You can't access one flat's lock with another flat's key, right? So like this only, in Salesforce will also have the Salesforce will have the multi-tenant architecture. Multi-tenant, that means everyone can use the everyone can use the same space, like a tenant, same space in the sense, inside this complete space they can access like a tenants, okay, they can rent their space, okay, and no one can access this space because everyone will have some own security protocols like that. This is called multi-tenant architecture of Salesforce. Okay, multi-tenant architecture of Salesforce. Now, my next question is, see, everyone will have their own space, but few things in the sense like electricity, water, okay, electricity, water, and some garden area. These all will be there, right? That some space, some things, okay, that some things like electricity, water, security, okay, the security guards, if some like these few things will be common to all the tenants, right? Every flat won't have its own security guard, but the complete apartment, okay, complete building will have a security guard. That means in this complete architecture, few are shared resources. That means common resources, and few are the individual resources of the particular flat. Like this only, like this only, inside the Salesforce, there will be few shared resources and few individual resources. Let's say space, the storage. Storage is like a share, I mean, individual in the sense I can have my own memory. That is not that is I mean that no one can access. But when you say the Einstein layers, the trust layers, few of the standard codes, okay, that will be like common between all the organizations. Okay, so this is called as multi-tenant architecture. Okay, multi-tenant architecture. Okay, I think the trial head is not there here. No problem. I will show the building here. So that's why we can trust the Salesforce, because that the trust where it comes from is the multi-tenant architecture of the Salesforce. Everyone will have their own flat. Okay, everyone will have their own flat kind of thing, so that there will have some security and everything. So there is a site called trust.salesforce.com. Okay, where you will see like what are the resources that are being shared, okay, what is the like performance, and we can get more information of the security reviews running in the inside the Salesforce, so like that. Okay, so any planned maintenance is there for the servers, so like this we can get the complete information. Just a minute, I'll be on mute. Okay, now this is about the multi-tenant architecture of the Salesforce. So sharing is caring. That means we share some resources, we share some spaces, but not all. We have we have our own individual space, individual memory, individual security, and we have some shared security, shared spaces, shared limits, and everything. Okay, like this. I told, right, you have your dedicated space and some like shared resources like power, water, and building and maintenance. That's why we trust the Salesforce. Like, because even though we are having the complete our data in the cloud, the Salesforce give us a dedicated space for us. Okay, So this concept is called multi-tenancy. So Salesforce believes in multi-tenant architecture. Okay, this idea is called multi-tenancy. So multi-tenancy is great for making you sound smart at dinner parties. See, this is some like text. See, no matter the size of your business, you get the access to the same computing power. That means even though you have 5,000 licenses or 10,000 licenses, okay, 5,000 or 10,000 license, I mean license in the sense 10,000 users, your computing power is same. See, that doesn't mean that means that uh, if I am having an institute of 50 people and there is some Udemy where it has some like an institute of 5,000 people, if they access some Apex code, if I access some Apex code or like coding, everyone will have the same computing speed. Okay, same computing speed. That means their code also runs in the same time. I will also get the same output in the same time. There will be no differentiation in the computing power. Like data storage, it depends because data storage depends in the sense you can create objects, fields, and everything, but there are limitations how many you can create based upon the your standard license or startup license or enterprise license like that. Now, so as we discussed, trust and multi-tenancy go hand in hand. That means if multi-tenancy is there, then only we have a trust. Oh, so despite the fact that you are sharing space with other companies, you can trust the Salesforce to keep your data secure. You can also trust that you are getting the latest and greatest features with automatic seamless upgrades 3 times a year. That means you, if Salesforce upgrades, you no need to upgrade the Salesforce in your browser. See, Facebook is updating day by day. Are you updating your Facebook in your browser? Maybe you are updating the mobile application, but not in the browser, right? So that is controlled by that application is controlled by Salesforce. That's why we say as a cloud-based software where everything is controlled by Salesforce. Now, now whatever the updates you get, everyone will get that same update. Okay, you are paying a huge amount, you are getting the first update, and the startups are getting the updates very large. That is not there in the Salesforce. Everyone will get the same updates. Now, since the Salesforce is a cloud service, you never have to install new features or worry about your hardware. This we have seen, right? So all this possible because of multi-tenancy. That means if a building is painted or building gets new water supply or any street lights, any new security guard, then everyone will get like everyone that I mean that means that everyone will get the same features, same water supply, same power supply. Okay, same security guard. So because it is a multi-tenant architecture. Now that is done. So trust and multi-tenancy is done. Now, now let us understand the other concept called metadata. Okay, let us understand other concept called as metadata. So metadata here is like a data in data about data. I'll help you understand this word because this word is very important. Why it is very important? Because metadata, you will always see this metadata concept throughout our classes. Okay, even when you work in the real time as well. Okay, so what is metadata? Yesterday we have created a student, right? Student object. Yesterday we have created a student object. In the student object, let's say there are two students. Okay, let's say there are two students. One is Surabhi, the other one is Soumya. Okay, Surabhi and Soumya. Soumya will have name field, Surabhi will have name field, and let's say marks, student marks, average, say marks, average. Okay, Let's say they have some grade, their phone number, their email, okay, their everything. Now tell me, now tell me, uh, uh, what is Surabhi? Surabhi is a record or not? Surabhi is a record. Name, email. What are these called as? Come on. Hello.
We need to objects.
No. This one. See, student is
Salesforce
the
or
object. Student is the object. Name, email. What are these?
this side minus 242
Field.
this side.
Okay. This is called as field. Right? So, student is an object. And Ravi is one record. Soumya is record. And this Soumya's record have some information in the fields. And student record, Surabhi record have some information in the fields. Now, what is the original information here? Surabhi, subject 1 marks 95, subject 2 marks 92, email surabhi.cxe. So like this is the original information. That means the original information or original data. This is called as data. Now, fields are there, right? Email field, name field, subject 1 field, subject 2 field, student object. So, what these are doing? This is also some kind of information only, but not the original information, right? Whatever you store inside them is a original information. Whatever you store inside them is a original information. But original information, the email field is not the original information. Surabhi.cxe is the original information. And where you are storing in the email field, that field is not the information. Now, the original information is called as data. Some kind of data which tells about the original data is called metadata. Now here, business email. Okay, business email. Suppose I am writing, I'm writing here kc@codeexcellency.com. Here, what is original data? kc@codeexcellency.com is the original data. And what is the metadata? Business email. That means this business email, this text tells that whatever the user has entered here, the original data, is about some business email. Are you getting my point? See, this is very important. A data which tells about the other data is called as metadata. Okay? Are you getting my point, or do you want me to repeat? No reply, no reply. Okay. So, the email field, these fields, these objects, Apex code, everything is called as metadata. What is data then? The original information. Surabhi, her phone number, her email ID. Soumya, her phone number, her email ID is the original data. I hope at least this point is clear.
Yeah, Kalyan, it's clear.
Yeah. So now when you understand data and metadata, let's understand practically now. So what are these now? What are these? Opportunities, mock interviews, courses, batches. This is metadata because that doesn't tell any tell any information about the original customer or customer information. It's a like a common mock interviews. So students like that. if I go to one individual student, let me create a new student. Now, this is a metadata. Okay, this is complete thing is a metadata. Now, what are the information I'm storing here? Okay, whatever the information I'm storing here, that information is the original data. Now, this original data is not same for all the records, but this metadata is same, right? Now, if I click save and new, I'll get another template, another like a page where again I have to enter the data. So, original information is different, that we call as data, but the other information, in the sense, the some text fields like these fields which talks about the data, which says something about the data. So what this subject one will tell? Yeah, subject, by seeing subject one, you'll understand, okay, whatever the value is there in that, that belongs to marks of the subject one. That means this subject one is telling the information about this particular field. Okay. Now you are writing some code in the backend. What that code will do? That code will do certain operation on the data, maybe changing the name, sending the emails, okay, calculating the average score. So what that code is doing, it is performing certain operation on the real data. So whether it is talking about the data or whether it's performing something on the data, this two comes under the metadata. Okay, that you have to be very clear. So to put it simply, we say metadata is data about data. So when we say about when we see a data about data, we are really talking about the shells. That means the fields, the actual fields. Let's say name field. So in the name we have Kalyan. So this name field is the metadata. Kalyan is the real data. Holds the content related to any information you want to collect in your Salesforce org. This shell is nothing but a field, let's say, example. So that is a metadata, and the real information is the Kalyan. So metadata in Salesforce, metadata is the data that represents your configuration or customization, fields, objects, Apex code, LWC, like LWC components, chatbots, and flows, everything. It describes the structure, relationship, or the configuration of the actual business data you enter into the platform. It defines the architecture and model of Salesforce data, not the Salesforce data, model of Salesforce data, settings, and customizations. So, example, let's consider as example one account example. So, let's say we have a account object. In the account object, the actual business data is Tech Corp, like a business account name is Tech Corp with an address 123 Tech Street. So in this metadata is the account object itself is a metadata. Okay. Fields is like account name, address, phone number. Okay, their data type is whether text field or checkbox field or address field, their lengths, 16 letters length, 32 letters length, or any attributes related to this particular field, whether that field is read only, required field. This complete information which tells about that particular field, the data about data that can be stored into that particular field, this all comes under the metadata. Okay, page layouts, how the how the fields are displayed, any validation rules we have seen in the last classes, even that also comes under the metadata. But this Tech Corp 123 Tech Street, this comes under the real data, actual business data. Got it? So in a very broader sense, we treat objects, fields, layouts, reports, dashboards, Apex, code, Visual Force pages, and Lightning components, and now agentforce, agents, everything comes under the metadata. So when developers and administrators talk about migrating changes or deploying configuration between Salesforce means You won't get access to direct production and start developing the applications or code or some configuration directly in the production environment. First, you will get the access to the sandbox or test environments where you'll develop certain configuration, certain code, certain components. Then that you will move to the production org. So when you're moving from one org to other org, you can't again create. Suppose, let's say example, you have created a Salesforce object, okay, student object and course object. These are all objects in the sandbox in the normal development environment. Now you want the same thing to do it in the production. There is no need for you to do it again in the production. What you can do, you can migrate this complete objects, fields, their structure, their nature, everything from the sandbox or development environment to the production environment. How you can do that? This is called moving of the metadata. When someone asks you how you can migrate some one sandbox environment to other sandbox, or one from sandbox or development to the production, you just uh, say that you're moving the metadata. You're not going to create again everything there. You're just going to migrate your metadata. So the metadata configuration, code, pages, everything comes under that from here to there. If you want to migrate real data, that is also there possible. Okay, that is also possible. You take complete all accounts and migrate it to other environment. You can migrate the real data or you can migrate the metadata. This is not needed now. Now the other concept we have is API. This is very important nowadays because everything runs on the API, application programmable interface. Okay, let me take you. Yeah, this is the one. Application programmable interface. So Soumya, you are into the development classes also, right? So you need to understand it very carefully. Okay. Suppose you take the example of two persons. Suppose you take the example of two persons. How the two persons communicate? Okay. There should be there should be a medium of communication. Let's say mobile. Okay. Or if they are talking directly, they can talk through their words, language. Let's say they are talking in the mobile. So when the two persons are talking inside the mobile, so they have some protocols, right? First you talk, then they receive, then they talk, they respond, then again you will receive the response. Again you speak something, you ask some questions or answers, then again they will reply back. So it's like communication goes on like this, right? Between two persons. Similarly, when two different applications, two different softwares want to talk to each other, okay, then we say application programmable interface, API. So if I want to talk between two different Salesforce organizations, suppose I want to send the data from my institute to the Soumya's company. So whatever the students are there, so Soumya is running some HR company and I am running the Just Institute. So I want to send my daily wise my students data to the Soumya. I don't want to extract the data into the Excel sheet, then send her email, then she download that and store that in her organization, in the Salesforce organization. Okay, Salesforce the application Soumya is using and I'm also using. Now what I can do is I can set up the connection here between Soumya's organization or Soumya's Salesforce application and my Salesforce application. So what I do, whenever I want to send the details from my organization to say Soumya's organization, then I just do something called as API communication with the help of REST API. REST and SOAP, there are two different APIs inside the Salesforce we can use. So let's say example REST API. We'll talk this in the deeper in the developer classes. But even as as an administrator, you need to understand what is API, how the Salesforce, different Salesforce organizations, or not only Salesforce. If you want to make Salesforce talk to GitHub, talk to Jira, talk to Slack, everywhere this API concept comes in. API in the sense, if two softwares want to talk to each other, send the data and receive the data, then API will be there. Not only in the Salesforce, in any other softwares as well. Okay. So here we are taking example of two different Salesforce organizations, mine and Soumya's, where we want to data transfer between our two applications. Then I set up this HTTP protocols. Okay. Then I ask for the data. Then Soumya gets the, Soumya sends the data, or Soumya asks for the data. Then I can send the data. That is possible through API. So API is the core fundamental of the core fundamental block in this entire architecture. Whether Salesforce talking to Salesforce, okay, Salesforce getting our Salesforce application getting data from other resources, other applications, Gmail or ChatGPT or Google Gemini, Drives, Google Drive, Excel sheets, from wherever you are getting the data or you are sending the data, that all is possible with the help of APIs only. So this is also one of the core fundamental block of the Salesforce. I hope you got this point right. So just one thing you remember, API is nothing but a medium between two different softwares, applications to talk to each other via programming. That means you code something, you write a code or you configure something, then it sends the data, it receives the data between two different applications. So again, you have to set some protocols, give some accesses, user settings will be there, what data you can receive, what data you can send, what data you should not receive, and if something goes wrong, what are the error codes, if something gets succeeded, what is the code, how the data can be retrieved. That is again different concept. We say it as an integration concept. So that is not covered now. So Salesforce have many APIs, SOAP APIs, REST APIs, bulk APIs, streaming APIs, social or chatter APIs, analytics APIs, metadata APIs, tooling APIs, user interface or UI APIs we say, and we can also develop our custom APIs inside the Salesforce. Okay. So coming back to again the architecture of the Salesforce. Salesforce consists of three layers we can say, where the below two layers are dealing with the metadata, this application, their logics, their control, their code, their brain, let's say the complete brain, and the data, the actual data of the Salesforce will be in the down only. Okay, how the objects are configured, like objects in the sense tables, the fields, authentication mechanism, access models, everything is covered in this. And the top layer is application. See, one second. Is my voice breaking or is that okay? Because I think my network is slow, so that's why I want to confirm.
No, it's fine.
Okay. So these all you see, right? These all things are like your your top layer. What you can see: sales, lighting, applications, consoles, chatter. These all. Okay. The bottom layer, if you we can't see the bottom layer, but let's assume. Let's go to developer console, and here you can write the queries to get the data. Select. This is not the bottom layer, but like just an example. Let's say ID comma name fields I want to get from account limit 10. See, you can get the data in the backend. Let's say this as a backend. So you can see the accounts in the front end, in the UI, in the sales application, in the top layer, or in the backend as well. Okay, in the backend as well. So this is about the Salesforce architecture. Okay. So this is a old, actually old PPT where I used to have my old website called Salesforce Academy. But now, as you all know, we are into the complete a AI powered software or platform, hey code. So don't consider this information. You know my all information in the platform only. You have everything now. Okay. So do you have any questions in the architecture of the Salesforce? See, when you are when someone asks you the question, if someone wants to go deeper into any topic, then definitely they will enter this bottom layers. If you are asked about the Einstein artificial intelligence concepts, Einstein or prompt builder, so they will ask you, where is the trust layer? How can that help? How can that help in the protecting the our AI data or something? Whether if you are into development, what development we are doing, what this apex is called as. I want to move this apex code from one environment to other environment. How can I do that? How can I migrate? So it's called a metadata. At least you need to know what is metadata. How you are going to migrate, I will explain you. When you are into the preparation of interviews, I will explain you. But you have to understand this metadata. So you can think that, okay, this complete logics, configuration, settings, code, this is all called as metadata. Okay, the original data is the data, the real data in the sense, I mean, the customer information, your employees information, user information. That is the real data. Okay, so you should classify any given data, whether it's a real data or metadata. So then only you can control the access as well. Next we are going to as I said, next I'm going to start the uh, data security concepts, where if you don't understand what is data and what is metadata na, then you won't understand what is profile, what is permission set, what is roles. Okay, you can't differentiate where I have to use, when I have to use. When you understand what is metadata and what is data, then only you can think of this, what permission I have to give, where I have to set this permission. Suppose a user want to access account object, but user should not see the other person's I mean other person's data. That means they both have access to one object. I can see my objects or my records only, and Soumya can see her records only. But we both can access same data, same object. How can I protect my data from her data? So, what is the role of data security here? So that all we are going to see in the next classes. Okay. So tomorrow morning, definitely data security will start. Definitely you have to join. If you can't join, just let me know, because based upon the attendance, I will be taking the class. Thank you. If you don't have questions, I'll wind up.